Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sowing and Reaping YouTube channel. Let me make sure all of you can hear me first before I get into this. Just make sure.
Hello, everybody.
There we go. So you can all hear me then. Great. Let's get through this. So again, everyone, welcome to the Sowing and Reaping YouTube channel. Let's get into this. There are some things that Shanny and Rev is doing right now that I believe is outright sin and is totally unbiblical. Shanny and Rev, some of the things I'm going to say, a lot of you know, but we're going to talk about some of the things right here a lot of you may not know. But they keep getting on here and they keep feeling the need that everyone else out there has to actually help them. They say that they're surviving based on, the people that are subscribed to their YouTube channels or their Twitch or whatever, right? And that's who they're depending on and everything and whatnot. How many of you know that they claim to be Christians, that they claim to be followers of Jesus Christ? You know what I mean? They put their trust in me when they came to that house. They put their trust in their uncle when they went to that house. They put that trust in that money when they was in Boulder, Colorado. Shanny placed her faith in Chris when she was in Duluth, and now she's placing her faith, in her games on her Twitch. She is not placing her faith in Jesus. Okay, if she was, she would actually do what the Bible says. Now, Shanny, if you want to know why I'm being something of a prick by doing all of this, let me show you something here, because I'm not really being a prick, but that's how I'm going to describe myself. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 5 says, to deliver such a one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord Jesus. In other words, the reason why I have decided to come after you like this, because both of you need to come into the reality that you're no longer upper middle class people no more. You don't have all of this money anymore. You guys are struggling just like everyone else, and actually doing quite worse than everyone else. And you need to get off your behinds and do something. And a lot of people may not understand this. I'm talking to the Christians out there. First of all, make no mistake about it. We live in the United States of America, for those of you who live here or whatever. And there is a ton of help out there in Scranton, PA. And I'm going to prove it. Okay. But before I do, let me cut my camera on real quick, because I want to show everybody something here real quick. Just give me a second here. I just found out that you can get $300 store credit or up to $240 cash for a PlayStation 5. I'm not really sure if you guys can see that or not. But they will give you up to $240 for a PlayStation 5. The value of that game that she has is going down every single day, yet she refuses to sell it. But that ain't the only thing that they refuse to do. And I want to show people this real quick. The city of Scranton will help people if they need it. Like, how many times have you heard them say they was on a forced fast? No, let me tell you something. They're not fasting because they don't have no money. They're not fasting because there's no food around. They're not even fasting because of the water that is in that hotel. People got to stop being stupid. If you're going to give them money, buy the food for them. Tell them to tell you where they are, and then have the food delivered to them. Let me show you guys something real quick via screen share. I think you guys will find this interesting. All right. And then you'll understand why I'm so ticked off at these two. If you have Google, you'll be shocked what you can actually find that will where you can receive help in Scranton. Like, if you don't have any food, then you are technically in poverty. If you are in poverty, the city of Scranton and various other organizations would be more than happy to make sure that you got food in your stomach. There are soup kitchens. As a matter of fact, how about I just show you all of you real quick? Hold on. Let me go into these settings. Nope, that ain't it. My goodness gracious, I'm getting bad at this. Present, that's what I want. I'm going to share my screen, share my audio, and I want to show everybody this here real quick. And Shanny, this is for you, Shanny. Okay, just to show you why those claims that you're making don't hold any weight. All right. I just looked this up. It took me 2 minutes to look at this. And look at all of the different locations within that area, within the area where you are, that's willing to give you free food. You got the Salvation Army. You got the community, the community of Christ. You got a Catholic services right here. You got Friends of the Poor. You got the Kinship Kitchen Food. You got these Assemblies of God. You got the St. Paul Parish. You know what I mean? All of these organizations are more than willing to give you food Every last one of these locations are more than willing to give you food. What you have to be willing to do is get in your car, drive there, and actually pick up the food. Okay, but you and Rev are extremely lazy, and you guys don't want to get off your behinds and do anything. All right, you want people to take their money and give it to you so that you can go out there and buy choice food. I am sick and tired of watching this. It's not just from you, Shanny and Rev, but this is from a lot of people out there that claim that they're so much in trouble, but they don't even go out there to go on their computers or their phones or ask a neighbor or something like that to see whether or not they can actually receive any help. Okay, but that's not the only thing I found. Okay, how many of you noticed that that Shanny and Rev are still in that hotel? How many of you noticed that? Okay, how many of you noticed they're still in that hotel? Shanny told everybody that she has to have her feet elevated higher than a 90-degree angle. As many times as I've seen Shanny in person, she's never had her feet elevated like that, ever. She does not have a blood clot in her legs. Okay, a lot of the things that she, with the exception of the what do you call it? With the exception of the fibromyalgia, that's the only thing that she's ever showed me. She's never shown me anything paperwork wise to suggest that she has a blood clot in her leg. Remember, this same person that claims that she has a blood clot in her leg drove all the way from Minnesota all the way to PA, and it took them a couple of days to do that. How the heck are you telling people that you can't sit up in a certain position and you did all of that? And then on top of that, you drove all the way from, and she was heavier then too, by the way, when she drove from Duluth all the way to PA. She's full of it. She didn't have no blood clots. That's why I didn't let that affect my decision making. I had an interesting conversation with Veckel today because, you know, a lot of you was right. I was about to start giving the money again. Today was going to be the day because I watched the video. They looked pitiful. Shanny was on here. She looked weak and everything and whatnot. But I called Veckel up, my brother from another mother who I love very dearly. And I said, Veckel, do you think I should still give them food? I'm literally telling you the conversation I had with him. I wish he was here because he would confirm it. I said to him, should I start sending them money just for food and food only? And he was like, that's kind of tough. He said, are the kids there? I said, no, the CPS has the kids. Then he told me no. And the reason why me and him both share the same mindset about being no is because these two got to get off their behinds and start doing something for themselves. They got to start doing something for themselves. Because I also went on Google. Not only did I find all of those local food banks that Rev refuses to go to. He refuses for whatever reason to go to these food banks. Watch this, ladies and gents. They don't even got to be in the place where they're at right now. They don't even got to be there. I'm going to prove it to you. They don't even got to be there. So let me screen share again. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And again, this is in the same little town of Scranton. All right. Emergency assistance. These are all the different places that is willing to help them. These are all of the different places that they can go to get help. I ain't talking about the Taco Bell. That's a location or whatever. But these are all the different places that is willing to help them. The Catholic Social Services, the Department of Human Services, the Safety Net, and there's other places as well. They go to downtown Scranton, but they can receive housing, emergency Section 8, temporary rent assistance. They can receive all of these things if they're willing to go out there and actually do this work. And go out there and actually talk to these people and tell them about their situation. I'm going to tell you what I've noticed about these guys. Every single day, they're making excuses. Hold on a minute. Every single day, they're making excuses for why they can't do anything. Okay, they will lay in the bed. Oh, I'm not mentally right today. I need my medication. Okay, Shanny would want to play video games that day. She can barely walk. They made every excuse imaginable on why they couldn't go out there and actually do something for themselves. They really and truly believe that they were going to be sitting where they were for the rest of their lives. Okay, they believe that they was going to be sitting there for the rest of their existence. Okay, so there's no excuse for them being hungry. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. There is an excuse for them being hungry, but it has nothing to do with G-Man. It has nothing to do with Veckel. It has nothing to do with Christianity. And it has nothing to do with any of you that are watching this. Do you want to know why they're not eating? Do you want to know why they're not eating? Okay, I'm going to show you. Let me show you this right here. Hold on. Just do another screen share real quick. Particularly the Christians are going to get kicked out of this. Even atheists can't deny this. So let's go here and see what the Bible says about laziness, which is a sin against God. Rev, Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4. A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. You have to be actively doing something for yourself on a daily basis in order to get food in your stomach. Why do you think people call money their bread? Now, I'm not saying that people literally get their money and they make a sandwich out of it or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that the reason why you go to work is so that you don't have to go out there and beg other people for money. You keep talking about your mental health. Dude, it's kind of like a person going to the gym. Nobody really regrets going to the gym and working out and getting that blood flowing through their body and everything. I remember one time me and Rev was supposed to put some gas in this car, and we had to walk at least a mile and some change because I didn't know the bus system, and he knows the area way better than me. And we ended up walking about a mile and some change. And he loved it because he was getting oxygen in the brain. His body was getting exercise. But when all you do every single day is sit on your behind, making excuses for not doing stuff for yourself, you're going to end up in poverty. A slack hand causes poverty. Okay? So, Rev, you might also want to take this one into consideration too. In 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. But if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Let me read this to you again, Rev, okay? But if anyone, that includes you, does not provide for your relatives, that means if you're going to walk around here claiming Shanny's your wife, that the boys are your boys and everything and whatnot, you love her so much. If you love her, make a sacrifice and go get a job. But if anyone does not provide for his relatives, especially for the members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Okay, this describes them perfectly. Proverbs chapter 24, verses 30 and 34. I pass by the field of the sluggard. You will never hear Shanny talking about these Bible verses. She'll talk about how God has got legions of angels coming after people and they make you trip and all this unbiblical, goofy stuff that she's talking about. And I'll challenge you on that any day of the week, Shanny. It says Proverbs 24, 30 and 34. It says, I pass by the field of the sluggard, by the vineyard of a man lacking sense. And behold, it was overgrown with thorns. The ground was covered with needles, and its stone wall was broken down. Then I saw and considered it, and I looked and received instruction. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man. The sluggard does not plow in the autumn. He will seek at harvest and have nothing. Love not sleep, lest you come to poverty. Open your eyes and you will have plenty of bread. Okay, check this one out right here, guys. Proverbs chapter 19, verses 15. Slothfulness casts into a deep sleep, and an idle person will suffer hunger. All right, and there's a ton of these Bible verses out there that talks about the sin of laziness. This is why I had to change my my mind about how people was dealing with them, because they saw something that I did not see. What they saw was two lazy people that wasn't trying to do anything for themselves. I have read several in the last few days. I have read several comments where people have said to them that if they actually get up and actually start working, and if they need assistance, you know, the people of YouTube are here for them. I've read comments where people have said that they won't even go out there and try. Rev got on here and lied and said he went to look for a job, and he says that because he didn't get the job, that the decision that they made could be disputed. What kind of nonsense is that? They either call you for an interview or they don't. They either call you to try you out or they don't. Okay. And I don't believe, and if I'm not mistaken, Rev has never had a job a day in his life. He's been an entrepreneur, but he's never actually had a 9 to 5 a day in his life. Shanny has. Shanny knows what it's like a little bit. And even Shanny refuses. The only reason I know Shanny had a job is because of a couple of videos that she made going to work and her mother talking about it. I've never actually seen Shanny work with my own two eyes. But the reason why they're hungry, the reason why they're in the position that they're in is because they refuse to get off their lazy behinds and go do something with themselves. Rev knows he needs to see a doctor about some of his mental stuff. How about this, Rev? Leave Shanny behind home, go to the ER, tell them what's going through your head, and try to receive some counseling. Find somebody on YouTube with a medical degree and talk to them about what's going on in your life and see if they can help you. Be diligent, try, do something, but don't make a bunch of excuses where you're just laying on your butt all day playing Animal Crossing, in which that game should have been sold. And Rev, listen to me. Make her sell that game. Look at everything that you sold, dude. Look at everything that you gave up. Make her sell that game. And then buy groceries that is going to last. Not fast food, not stuff that you could put in the microwave, but buy food that is going to last. Do not buy medication no more. Detox. Get off of that Delta 8 garbage. And start doing things for your life that's going to move you forward and not bring you backwards. If she want to lay there and wait to die, that's her business. You don't got to be that way, dude. You don't got to be that way. Be a man. Be proactive. Do something with yourself. Everybody is not going to it's not going to get to the same level. Everybody's not going to be a Bill Gates. Everybody's not going to be a Rockefeller. Everybody's not going to be people out there who have good jobs and provide for them. Everybody's not going to be like that. But dude, if you make something, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, man, I made some money today. When your uncle gives you money, stop giving it to Shanny. Stop putting her in charge of your finances, dude, or you're going to be eating out of garbage cans and you're going to be sleeping on the concrete. And it really ticks me off that both of you are so lazy that you won't even go on Google to get the addresses of where you can go to get help. It ticks me off. Because you guys had me, okay, you had me thinking that you guys was going to get on your feet, that you was going to get assistance. Both of you clearly qualify for Social Security. Definitely Rev. He definitely qualifies. He's qualified for that since he was a baby. No, not since he was a baby. Since he was a young man. He's qualified for that, from what I understand. And if Shanny is as disabled as she claims she is, she should be able to walk in the Social Security office and get approved immediately. After she goes through, proving that she can't physically do certain things. But they won't even get off their behinds and do anything. So when I'm telling Christians here on YouTube, listen to me. It hurts me to see them hungry. It hurts me to see them in the condition that they're in. But until they stop sinning and get off their lazy behinds and actually try to do something, cut them off until they get off their behinds and do something for themselves. They got to do something for themselves. Shanny's like, how do you get a job? It's really easy. You fill out an application. Shanny, mark my words. There are jobs you can do where all you do is sit down. That's all you do is sit down, and you can make appointments for people and you can give it to your employer and they'll pay you for that. You can get a commission for doing referrals. There's a lot of things that you can do just sitting down, but playing your video game that you should have sold a long time ago, that stupid game ain't making you no money. It ain't making you a dime. Sell it, get the most you can get for it. Because right now, GameStop only saying they give you about $240 for it. And if you wait too long, you're gonna be giving that thing away for $100. I'm just telling you. Sell the game to whoever you're gonna sell it to. Get off of social media for a while. Sell your laptops and the little things that you have, and build yourself up and go get a job. Like every day, if Rev just gets out of his bed and say, you know what, I'm going to dedicate an hour and a half to this every single day. I'm going to take a shower, put some deodorant on, wash my body, put something on my hair. Actually, let me put a baseball cap on because I don't want nobody thinking I'm crazy. Put on the best clothes that you possibly can. You can get somebody to donate to you to get a nice dress shirt and a pair of dress pants or whatever, right? If that's what you're going to do and you're serious. And you can go into Dollar General, who hires anybody and everybody. I've seen people, guys, and I'm going to prove it one day because I'm going to make a YouTube video and show you. I've seen people with mental disabilities at cashier doing stock work in the back of the stores. I've seen it with my own two eyes. Some of these people got mild autism while they're doing it. There is absolutely no excuse for this guy to get a job. I'm sorry, for him not to get a job. My bad. For him not to get a job. There is no excuse for that whatsoever. I told him to his face. I said, dude, before I find myself in your position, dude, where I'm on YouTube begging people for money all the time, dude, I'll go get a black bag. I will collect aluminum cans and bottles, and I will go sell them and get my food that way. I'll have some sense of pride. And I will get more respect doing that than you will coming on here saying, could you guys help me out? When you're driving around in a $40,000 Durango and you got a video game in your house that's worth, I guess, $240 now at GameStop. I mean, they could probably take that PS5 to the receptionist and say, listen, I'll give you this PS5 if you just let it stay here for a couple of days. Or you can bring it to downtown Scranton and you'll say, I got this for sale. Everybody and their mama be trying to buy that from you. PS5s aren't easy to get no more, from what I understand. They're not easy to get. But the very fact that you will not let that go, Shanny, shows who you are. You said a lot of stuff about me, but you ain't willing to make a sacrifice for the man that you love. This man gave up everything for you. When are you going to give up something for him? When are you going to give up something for your man besides a knuckle sandwich when you get mad? Besides you verbally yelling at him when he gets mad, when you get mad. Don't get me wrong, I know Rev does it to you too. But when are you going to get off your lazy rump and actually do something? I would tell you that that job was still available, but that's not going to happen because we already know what's going to happen as soon as you know that you got to get up at 6:30 to 7 o'clock in the morning and you got to work from 7 to 7 and you know, you got to get $11 an hour and you got to go back and forth to a van and you got to know your tools. He doesn't even know his tools that well. I was supposed to teach him his tools. So I don't know. It just boils my blood that all of this opportunity is around them and they don't take advantage of it. I'm convinced that if they had another stimulus and all he had to do was go downtown and sign a piece of paper, he won't even do that. He won't even do that. But the fact that technically, and this is what's embarrassing for them, okay? And I'm embarrassed for them. Technically, they're homeless. Technically, they're homeless. For crying out loud, call CPS. Tell them your situation. They will tell you what to do. Oh, it's hard to get them on the phone. It's not hard to get, for the people that call them on you guys, it's not hard for them to get them on the phone. They're willing to call and call and call and call. You got to get on your phone. You got to call. Oh, that's right. You don't got a phone, you said. Oh, that's no problem. You have the internet, right? So why don't you make a Google Voice account? Every excuse you make, I can come up with something to show you how you can beat it. Oh, the Wi-Fi here is trash. Then go to McDonald's and use the free Wi-Fi. Or go somewhere where they got free Wi-Fi and use it there and make your phone calls. But I'm going to tell you this, laying on that bed, lying about having blood clots, none of that's going to change anything that's going on in your life right now. None of that's going to change. One day, one of you are going to wake up and the other person is going to be gone. You're either going to pass away from scurvy or malnutrition, or the person just going to take off and leave and say they had enough. This is why I'm going to put this out there. Shanny does not love Rev, and Rev does not love Shanny. Let me say this again. Shanny does not love Rev, and Rev does not love Shanny, because you know what love does? Love is self-sacrificing. You give up what you are and what you have to try to help the other person out. If Shanny really loved Rev, Shanny would have sold that PS5 to make sure they had some clothes, for crying out loud. I see that she finally wore one of the shirts that I bought her. The orange one that you guys see her with, that's one of the shirts that I bought her. I see she's finally wearing that. All right. They would buy clothes. They would buy bare essentials and they would get food. They would use it to put gas in their car so that Rev can drive around and try to get them some help and some assistance, because that is what a real man does. If you go look back in the day, you know what I mean, in Africa, if you want, I know a lot of you believe in evolution, so I'm actually going to go there for once. And you look at the primitive days. You got the men that go out there and they stay out there all day and they don't come back unless they got food. They got a dead rabbit or they got a dead deer or whatever. And then Shanny has to, I'm sorry, not Shanny, the woman would, take it apart and cook it and everybody would have food to eat. And by the way, before anybody calls me sexist, go look at tribalism, go look at ancient peoples or whatever, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not being sexist when I say that. But the point of the matter is, from the Christian worldview, since they both claim to be Christians, since Rev claims to be a Christian, he as the man is supposed to be providing for that family. There are people who live at the Bowery Mission that is more qualified to call themselves a man than Rev is. And when I say the Bowery Mission, you know what they're doing at the Bowery Mission right now, Rev? If you go to New York, Rev, right? Let's say you left Shannon right now, right? Or both of you decide to get help. Did you know that you can go to the... Let me tell you what Rev can do right now. He doesn't even know. He can actually go to New York. He can go to the Bowery Mission. They will admit him immediately. They will give him somewhere to live. They will give him clothes. And he will eat 5 times a day. You guys think I'm joking around. Go look at the Bowery Mission over there in Chinatown in New York. You want to know how embarrassing it is? Go look at the Bowery Mission over there in New York and in Chinatown. They will buy him clothes. They will give him food. He'll eat 5 times a day, and sometimes he'll be eating better than you and I. Okay? But guess what they're going to make him do? They're going to make him do job training. He's going to be forced to be able to, he's going to have to go out there and fill out applications and find a job because the Bowery Mission is only going to help you for 6 months. I believe it's 6 months to a year they help you. I've been there. I've seen what they give you. You get free medicine, you get free food, they give you free clothes, and they help you get a job. These are the people who are serious about trying to get their life together. They're not laying around all day figuring out how they can get $25 to $30 out of people so they can buy Delta 8, because that's their problem. Their problem is that their priorities are all over the place. Priority number 1, medication. Believe it or not, it's not a roof over their head. These two would do, if they were swimming in Delta 8, they can live, they would gladly live inside of a car. Priority number 2, roof over their head. Priority number 3, food. Notice I didn't say nothing about the kids and whatnot, because that's priority number 4, them thinking about those kids. Because if they really cared about those kids, they would not be airing out all their dirty laundry out on YouTube. Understanding that people don't like them and they're going to call CPS on them if something happens on live on camera. Now, if anybody out there disagrees with me and think I'm being cruel or I'm being mean and whatnot, that's fine and well or whatever. But I know what my Bible says. That's why I laugh at some of the things I hear her say. Okay? They don't want... See, here's the thing. All they care about is they're in, where they are right then and there. Okay? If they're at this hotel or friend's house, because personally, I think they're at the hotel and I think CPS is paying their bill for them. All of a sudden now, Shanny's not worried about a roof over her head no more. I've been paying attention to what's been going on Twitch. All of a sudden, you're not worried about a roof over your head no more? You got Rev on here asking for medication. He's not worrying about sleeping outside no more? Very interesting. CPS is obviously paying for them to stay there. That's all fine and well. But anybody on the internet giving them money, you guys got to start putting conditions on that mess. You got to start putting conditions on it. If he claims he went out there and looked for a job, make him show you the job application. Make him show you the rejection. Make him show you something. Make Shanny do the same thing. Offer them jobs. Maybe some of you out there are employers. You really want to shut them up and expose them. Let's say you're an employer and Shanny can do something where she can just sit down and she can make X amount of dollars per hour via commission. Because if she's not going to get off her behind and do something for herself, make her work for commission. That'll force her to work hard. As if she was walking around. Then she'll wish that she was walking around having a normal job or whatever. You know what I mean? Offer them a job, have them tell you no, and that'll show you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with sluggers, you're dealing with sloths, you're dealing with grasshoppers, you're dealing with lazy people. The reason why I bring up grasshoppers, if you ever heard the story between the grasshopper and the ant, all summer long, the grasshopper spent all of his time playing around with his boys, playing ball, playing baseball. I'm adding my own narratives to it, by the way. But they was just being goofy on it. We know what the ants were doing. They were working hard because they knew the weather was going to get cold. So they took some of the food and they ate it, and then they stored some of the food, and they stored some of the food. And then when when the weather finally got cold, they had food for the winter. They had food for the winter. You want to know why Shanny don't got food for the winter? They're too busy playing video games. Shanny, sell that stupid game. Talking about filthy lucre's sake. You sitting here talking about the word of God. Well, since you want to bring the Bible into this, I have a game, you have a game. Sell yours. I'm keeping mine because I have a job and I'm gonna go work. And when I'm done working, I'm done doing my chores, and then I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna relax, play my game for half an hour before I gotta go to bed and go through the same thing again. All right. You need to get your priorities straight. Okay. If you're sitting back waiting for Rev to have all of this money pop up on his lap, Shanny, you are going to be waiting a long time for that, because it's not going to happen. Them days are over. And your situation is going to continually get worse as you continually fall out of favor with God more and more and more with your lame excuses. Because I'm sick of hearing them, to be perfectly honest. You almost got me today, though, Shanny. I'm not going to lie. I'll openly admit this to everybody who's watching this. I almost sent them $100 for food today. I almost did it. Almost. Until I realized all of the help that's out there, and they refused to go out there and get that help. And I called Beckel. Actually, Beckel was there first. Beckel said, no, don't give them nothing. The kids are with CPS. You got 2 adults there. They need to learn how to go out there and get their own food. And Rev, if you would really want me to get primitive with you, dude, there are a lot of rabbits where you are going around the woods and whatnot. You know what I mean? I know you carry around those knives. You can go catch one of them rabbits and you can get Shanny to skin it, and y'all can cook it and y'all can eat that. See, a slugger won't even try that. If the water has E. coli in it, why aren't you suing the place where you are? Listen to me, Rev. Shanny ain't no doctor, and neither are you. Neither one of you know anything about health and fitness or anything like that. Neither one of you are PhDs or anything like that. You don't know what the heck is in that water. You think it's in there because you don't like the way it tastes. But guess what? When you're poor, and I can tell you all about this, Rev, because I've been that way my whole life, okay? When you're poor, you drink what's available, especially if you're not willing to get off your butt to go get some water from the store or whatever. Well, we don't have no money. Please, you got $240 sitting right there in the form of a PS5. You got $40,000, $20,000, $10,000. Heck, you could probably get $1,000 for that Durango. You don't got to be hungry. You don't got to be suffering. You don't even got to be where you are. You ain't got to worry about a roof over your head. But y'all too lazy to do something for yourselves. All you want to do is get on YouTube and blame me, and you want to blame everybody else for your problems. The heck with that mess. Get up y'all behinds and do something. Because when I was going through something similar to that, remember when I lived inside that house and you cut off the electricity and I didn't have any heat? You know what I did? I got some toilet paper, made like a little brick little enclosure. I think I showed this on camera too, if I'm not mistaken. I got some toilet paper. I poured some alcohol in it, lit that bad boy on fire, and it had me a little bit of heat. And you know how cold that house gets. A little bit of heat. You know what I mean? When I didn't have no water, I melted snow. Then I had water because I was not about to sit there and accept, just having nothing there. Then I got something called a job, and now I'm back on my feet. It took a while, but I caught back up. I caught back up. But all I know is this: the example that you and Rev are leaving right now to everybody on the internet, claiming to be seraphims and archangels and all this other goofy mess. Number one, you ain't no angel. That's number one. If you was an angel, you wouldn't be hungry. Food, the kind of food you would desire would be the word of God. It wouldn't be regular substance or whatever. You would be desiring the word of God if you was a quote unquote angel. And there ain't no legions of angels making me trip and fall and all this other goofy mess that you was talking about on your YouTube channel. You can get that off with people on here who don't know the Bible, but you ain't getting that mess with me. All right? You have an opportunity right now if CPS is paying for your room or whatever. You need to get some money in your pocket. Start off by making a commitment, by selling that game, get that money, restrain yourself from buying stupid stuff with it. Put that money up, use that or use a portion of it maybe to get some gas for the car so that Rev can go back and forth downtown to take care of business that you can't do, Shanny. Because according to you, you can't get up and walk. So I guess they're going to be amputating your legs soon, I guess, right? They're going to be cutting both your legs off soon since they don't work and you can't get up and walk. I mean, we both know that that's baloney, but, you know, I'm just saying. It is a sin to be this lazy, okay? And Rev, there is absolutely, let me tell you something, Rev. I'm going to say this from firsthand experience. If anybody's qualified to talk about this, I am. Dude, you ain't going through nothing that's preventing you to look for a job. If anything, what you're going through should motivate you to look for a job. I know what it's like to have nowhere to lay my head. I know exactly what that's like. And I know what it will make you do. The last thing I would be asking for is medication. The heck with that Delta 8 mess. What you need is some real money in your pocket. And you need some real solid goals where you can get your own place. Because if you think them people are giving you back your kids when you can barely provide cold water, you're crazy. You think about that a minute. They claim they love each other. They claim they love those kids. But what are they going to offer them if they get them back? They don't even got cold water to give them. CBS would be stupid out their heads to give them back to them. They barely got clothes for themselves. And Shanny don't got to be that way. Shanny can sell that game. And Shanny, listen to me. It's like this. That game is not a priority. You can always get another game. You can always get another game. If you humble yourself and apologize to me for all of the insults that you gave me over there on Twitch, I might even give you one of mine. I don't have a problem with that. But you need to get off your... See, I don't want to say that because if I do it, then I'm going to get a whole lot of heat and I don't feel like going through it. But I think I know what I want to say. She needs to get off her rump and do something with herself. And so do you, Rev. Stop getting on YouTube lying, saying you care about this woman. Rev, you don't... Let me show my face for this one right here. Hold on. Dude, you don't love Shanny. You hate Shanny. Because if you love Shanny, you would get off your lazy behind and go to downtown Scranton and take care of business like a real man. Okay? You don't love Shanny. You hate Shanny. And Shanny, you don't love Rev. You hate Rev. You want to know why? You refuse to make a sacrifice for him. Look at all the sacrifices this man made for you. He gave up his entire wealth for you. He gave up everything for you. Are you willing to make a sacrifice for him, though? Why is he selling blood plasma when you can't even sell a game? Please explain that to me. Please explain that to me. Help me understand that. That's not love. I don't think neither one of you know what love is. Some of these YouTubers on here criticizing you, Shanny. A lot of the things that they're saying about you is true. I don't agree 100% with all of it. But I know this, though. The next time I hear you say you love Rev, I'm going to laugh at you because it's not true. If you love Rev, you would have sold that PS5 and bought that man a pair of jeans. Bought that man a decent shirt. Take that man to the dentist and get rid of all those yellow teeth so he can look presentable when he goes to a job interview. How the heck does a man have $700,000 and all of his teeth is yellow like that? That don't make any sense. If you love that man, shouldn't you be taking care of his health? Shouldn't you encourage him to take a shower? Shouldn't you encourage him to put on cologne? Shouldn't you, Shanny, if you love that man, you will wake up at 5 o'clock. You better get your lazy behind up and go get a job. I'm not going through this no more. You better get up and go get a job. And it shows your immaturity, Shanny. Your immaturity. Because you think if a person's got a lot of money, that person's a great person for you. What you should have did was says, I need somebody that can hold a job. Someone who was a leader. That's what you should have did. But nope, you went after the person with the fattest wallet. That's what you went out and you did. You went out there and you found somebody with the fattest wallet. Where has it gotten you? Shanny, if Rev won't leave you, you need to leave him. You do understand you have the same option, right? You don't have to go through all of this. You got a $240 PS5 You got a laptop. I think you can get maybe, I mean, a laptop, I think you guys worth probably about $1,000 because I know what you guys took over there. You know what I mean? So you could probably get maybe $250 for that laptop. Rev got a laptop for me. You could probably get about maybe $100 for it, maybe $150 for it. Give him a MacBook Pro. I don't know what the things are worth. You know what I mean? And they have a couple of things that's pretty valuable that if they sold them, you know what I mean, they could start rebuilding their lives again. They don't understand that they can get rid of that garbage and they can actually get their lives together and just start buying that stuff again, little by little again. They can repair, so they can rebuild all of that. They don't want to do it because they're too lazy to get off their behinds and actually do something for themselves. This is why I say I would rather be poor than rich, because I see how it's just the mentality. It's like, have you ever struggled a day in your life? I go through it every day. Maybe not the way they're going through it right now, but I go through it every day. So it's like I know full well what it's like to struggle. I understand the value of work. I'm not bringing nobody else in this conversation because it wouldn't be fair and it wouldn't be right. But I'm just sick and tired of this attitude saying, could you guys? That's my camera on this one for this one. Could you guys help me? Foods. Somebody needs to put like a laughing at them comedic comedy thing. Oh, that's right. I think Celebrity Juicer did it. You got all of these agencies out there willing to give you free food. And then not to mention, you guys lied to everybody, and you forgot to tell everybody that that you left a lot of food at the house when you moved because you know Shanny don't like to cook. Neither do you, Rev. I don't think you know how to cook, Rev. Especially when I used to come over there, and it used to be these pots. And I think she made like rice and beans or whatever in there or whatever was in that pot that day. Maybe it was a spaghetti. And it would be like a half a pot full of uneaten food that they would put there in the middle of the night. Because when I left there, like between like 10 or 11 at night, and I come there the next morning, you know, all the way from Philly, there would be this big half-eaten thing of food in the sink. And I can't even tell you how long it took to unstock that sink of all of the food that was in there. I had to put it wasn't Drano. It's something stronger than liquid Drano. We had to go to Home Depot to actually pour it in the drain and it destroyed all of the food and whatnot. But then that didn't really destroy everything, so we had to change the piping underneath the sink. I had to go and buy a whole bunch of new piping, and we had to change all of the piping underneath the sink because how much food was going in the sink instead of going in the garbage because they were too lazy to scrape out the pot of food that they were wasting every day. You know what I mean? As opposed to just throwing it in the garbage or whatever, or finishing it. How about that? Actually finishing it before calling me up saying we don't got no food, bro. We're hungry. We're starving. Shanny, I don't know how much longer Shanny can take this. She's dying. Yada yada yada. No doctor has ever told me that this woman is dying. She has no medical records stating that she is dying. She has no medical records stating that she has cancer. She has no medical records stating that she has a blood clot in her leg. She has no medical. The only medical thing I saw is for fibromyalgia, in which they prescribed her Benadryl and I was wondering why they didn't give her Percocets, but they gave her Benadryl and they gave her ibuprofen, I think, and I forget the other thing or whatever. But she claimed it wasn't working, and she claimed she only felt better when she was getting Delta 8. That's the only time they ever feel better. She would show me that she got the shakes, and I was stupid back then because I thought the shakes was coming from her fibromyalgia. This goes to show how smart I am sometimes with certain things. So she would tell me if I get the Delta 8, she would feel a little better. She would take one puff of it, and she was like, CG, man, the shaking stopped. I didn't understand that her body was desiring the substance. You know what I mean? So if you guys love them, you won't give them any smokes. If they even mention medication, don't give it to them. Do not give them anything in the form of medication. Encourage them to get a job. If you know somebody that's hiring in that particular city, you could tell them, look, this person said they'll give you a job stocking shelves. You'll make $8 or $9 an hour or whatever it is that they're paying you at the time, and they'll have some money. If they say no, then everything that they're going through is on them. When Rev told me that he wasn't going to rake those leaves, well, not me, I'm sorry. When he told the guy that was going to give him the job that he wasn't going to rake those leaves, when he turned them down twice to work with this guy, You know what I mean? And that was around the time when you guys were telling me I was enabling him being lazy. I said, I just wish I can get on here and tell you guys stuff. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, when he did that, everything that he went through after that was his fault. And you better believe I wasn't all quick to go there and help them. I made them wait. And yes, Shanny, I'll admit it. I made you wait on purpose because I was angry. I was angry that you would be with a, you know, that not be with, but you would allow this lazy heifer to contact me via the phone asking for money for food when he doesn't even want to work. Here's what a lot of you don't know. I think I mentioned this on Direction. I don't think I did, but if I didn't, you're gonna hear about it now. That house has a first floor, it has a second floor, and it has an attic. I was going to turn that attic into a studio apartment. It had to be framed. Me and another contractor, a guy I had, was going to come there. It was freezing that day, and we was going to go there, and we was going to just frame everything up. We already figured out where the living room was going to be. That's a big attic. Where a little teeny living room was going to be, where the bedrooms was going to be. I had a little separate room I was going to make for the boys. I was going to tile it up. I was going to put sheetrock on it. I was going to paint it, and I was going to let them stay there for a year. I had plans to get them out of there after another year of living there or whatever, right? But I was going to let them have the, you know, the attic, and then I would rent out the downstairs so I can actually have some income coming in. And that was the day he decided to tell the guy that was there with me that he wasn't going to work, that one of the boys should do it. And one of the boys should do it. I offered him $100. Give me a second here, guys. Give me 1 second here, guys. I offered him $100. I offered him $100 to paint the room that I painted today. He never did it. He never did it. And Shanny, I hope you're watching this part. Okay? You will never ever get me to give you another cent as long as you're willing to sit on your behind and make him sit on his behind and not do nothing for yourself. You can go kick rocks for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a commercial break, and I will be right back. I got to answer this phone call. All right, I apologize about that. I had to take that call. That was my boss. So anyway, yeah, all of this talk about Shanny loving Rev. Shanny, if you love Rev, you would. Let me tell you something, Shanny. This is the one time I would support you on this. And there's going to be some YouTubers on here that don't agree with this. This is the one time I would support this. Grab Rev by his hair, throw him out that room, and tell him to come back when he has a job. I bet you he finds a job. And Rev, if you have more resolve than Shanny, take something in that room that you got of value, sell it for whatever you need to get gas in your car, because the gas station's right there. It's not like you got to do a lot of walking. You can push your car there if it don't got no gas. Like, that's how close it is. You can do it by yourself on top of that, to be perfectly honest. That's how close the thing is to you. We both know this. Fill your tank up full of gas and don't go back to that room. I don't care how many times she calls you. I don't care. Don't go back to that room until you either got a grocery, you got bags and bags and bags of food, or you got a job. That is the only way you're ever going to get any respect from this woman. If you want to go back to being the alpha dog again, dude, you need to go do that. And then more importantly than that, both of you claim that you're followers of Jesus Christ. You do understand, as much as you sit there and you talk about other YouTubers and you talk about your heart being broken and all this other stuff, I don't think the Lord cares about your heart and whether or not it's being broken. The Lord cares about you dying to yourself. What you need to do is die to the old Shanny, die to the old Rev, get off your lazy behinds and go get a job. That's what you need to do. For those of you who don't know what the term means to die to self, that means whatever you was before you came to Christ, that needs to die. That part needs to be bye-bye. It needs to be gone. They need to stop all of this excuse making on why they can't get a job. Rev gets discouraged one time, boom, he don't want to look no more for 5 months. Somebody tells him no, he don't never want to ask again. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Hey, Rev, you see that championship belt that's on my shoulder in this picture? You know you gave me that championship belt, Rev. You gave me that belt. You spent money for that belt that I have right now. How did you get the money for this belt? I want you to think about that a minute. How did you get the money for this belt? Did you work for it? Did you earn it? Did you have possession of it? It didn't get there by you laying on the bed playing video games all day. That is for sure. So before you make your next Twitch video, and before you go into Real Revelation News, going out there saying, can I borrow a quarter? Can I borrow a quarter? You think about all of the free opportunities that you got over there in Scranton. Emergency rent assistance. Think about that, Rev. TRA, temporary rent assistance. Emergency Section 8. Do you understand what that is, Section 8? Your rent can be as low as a nickel. I've seen people pay $5 for their rent and manage to screw that up. Get Section 8, dude. Go out there and apply for stuff. You're technically homeless. You're not going to be waiting long. Just think about that, man, because y'all lazy. You guys are lazy. Lazy. You're lazy. You don't got a working bone in your body. She ain't getting on YouTube and on Twitch talking about some, oh, it's time for me to work. She getting on there and making those videos talking about absolutely nothing. People can say whatever they want about me. But I get up my behind and I go out there and I work. I don't care what nobody say. You know, you ain't going to see, if you do see me begging, you ain't going to see it long. That's for sure. You ain't going to see it long. Because I'm going to get up my behind and go do something. And both of you forgot about, you know, the reward of sweat equity. Going out there and actually working for it. Keep claiming you're waiting for Jesus. I don't think you want Jesus coming back, not seeing you working. Or do I need to go out there and tell you that little parable? What is that? The parable of the sower. Do you really want me to? Oh, no, not the parable of the sower. Is it the parable of the sower? No, the parable of the seed. On how, and I don't have it in front of me. I can get it if you guys want, and I can read it. But it goes something like this, where there were some workers that went out there and they got some seed, and they what is this? Parable of the talents. I'm sorry, it's the parable of the talents. My bad. It's the parable of the talents. When they went out there and they invested the talents and they got some back. Another one invested some of the talents and they got some interest back. And another one, they invested their talents and they got some interest back. But then there was a person who took their talents and then they buried it in the ground and they didn't get nothing back. And then the master returned. And he was pleased with the other three, but he wasn't pleased with the last one, because he said, well, I know what kind of a person you are, because I knew that if that if I invested these and I didn't get a return, you're hard, and you know what I mean. The person says, well, if you know I was hard, at least if you would have put it in the bank, I would have got interest. I mean, at least you could have got interest. You guys won't even get off your butt. You guys are the person that put your talents and you buried it under the ground, and you won't even try. You won't even try. You won't even try. How many churches have you been to, Reverend Shanny, and explain your situation to the churches? No, you won't do that either, right? Because that involves you taking a shower, smelling good, and interacting with other people. You complain about the internet. Why don't you go get your own internet service? Metro PCS charges $50 a month for a portable internet that you can take with you anywhere you want to go. $50 a month. You can make $50 if you get a minimum wage job in about 4 to 5 hours working. Or the fall is coming, you can rake some leaves and make $50. Where I come from, we call snow white gold. We call it white gold because when you shovel snow, you make good money. You can make $20 just for shoveling somebody's snow right in front of their house. And if you do a driveway, you can make $40 to $75, depending on how big the driveway is. And if you got a big house and you got to go all the way around, you can make a couple of $100. You know what I mean? So all of this nonsense that's saying that you can't do nothing for yourself, dude, you're not even trying. You or Shanny. Shanny sat there and she lived under you and you provided for what was it? 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years. You provided everything that you had, including your blood plasma to this woman. And she's still being ungrateful. She's still being ungrateful. When has Shanny ever sacrificed anything for anybody? This video that exists when you're G-Man, I gave you a house. G-Man, I gave you a house. You ain't give me nothing. Rev did. G-Man, we gave you our stuff. You actually, Rev gave me those things. I didn't steal nothing. How many times, Shanny, did I tell you I felt uncomfortable? No, we just want you to have it. Then he got insulted when I told him no, so I just took it. I just feel like I want to give you everything, G. Now you understand why I was saying that, Rev. Because in the back of my mind, regardless of what you gave me, your time there was temporary. I told you that on multiple occasions. Multiple occasions. Whoever thought that I was going to be doing this for the rest of my life should be tarred and feathered and should be laughed at on a stage with people throwing tomatoes at them if they were that gullible to believe that I was going to be doing this for the rest of my life. There is figurative language. There's language out there where people use where they're like, oh, as long as G-Man's alive, they will. What happens if I die? What happens if I get hit by a tractor trailer? What happens if something happens to me? What happens? Then what? And you want to know what, Shanny? What happens if something happens to Rev? If Rev has a cardiac arrest tonight, then what? I bet you're going to regret not getting a job then. Hey, Rev, what happens if Shanny has a cardiac arrest? Oh, you don't got no gas in the car, right? What happens if something happens to her and you got to rush her to the hospital and the ambulance can't get there in time? And it was your responsibility to get her in the car to get her to the doctor. You're supposed to be responsible, dude. You got to have gas in your car. You got to have clean clothes, dude. You got to have income coming in. That's your responsibility as a man. You're supposed to be the leader, dude. And Shanny, if you don't believe that, if you believe that both of you are supposed to be the leader, somebody needs to get a job. Okay, fine. Rev, you follow Shanny. No problem. Whatever. Shanny's the leader. Shanny, go get a job, Shanny. Take care of your man. Take care of your baby. But you're not willing to do that. Neither one of you are willing to get a job. Neither one of you are willing to make any sacrifices. And then you expect for your situation to magically change. It doesn't work that way. Now they're sitting down and they're waiting for this magical disability to come in so that they don't got to work. I'm sorry. So all they got to do is sit down all day and play on Stardew Valley all day. Shanny, this is the why. And I know this was a bit long. It was an hour long or whatever. But this is why your YouTube career went down the toilet. It had nothing to do with me. You said that stuff. You did that stuff. You said what you said, and you offended not just me. See, this is what you tend to forget, Shanny. I'm not the only black person on the internet, and there's a lot of us that take that crap personally when you use that kind of language. So it was me, and it was other people, apparently I never heard it before, that got offended by it. And I'll show people the video responses. Now, I have a lot of video responses with you saying that. People think I was all quiet about it. No, I wasn't. Oh, no, I wasn't. Maybe when you came to my channel and you said that on GTV, that was one of the few times that I was quiet about it. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, woman, you killed your career being stupid, believing that $700,000 was all the money in the world. There are people that would commit suicide if they had that much money. Because they're billionaires and millionaires. Do you realize there are people out there paying LeBron James $42 million? They're paying him $42 million. Not everybody is proud of having $700,000. There are poor people like myself that if I had that money, I guarantee you I would still have it. My money would be making money for me. My money would be going out there helping people who need it. My money would have never went to no weed, that's for sure. Rev, take the time out, dude. Go on Google. Look at all of the help that you have. That all you gotta do is get in your car. Like I said, bathe a little bit, smell good so people don't be offended. Brush your teeth, get in the car, and drive to those locations, dude. I'm gonna show you this again in case you came late for the people that are watching. Okay? I'm gonna show everybody this again. So if you go on Google and you look at Scranton agencies or whatever, this is a place here. If you want emergency rent assistance in Scranton, PA, these are all the different places that you can go to. Catholic Social Services, the Department of Human Services, or whatever, right? You can even go to places that are food banks. A lot of people are asking why won't they go to food banks? Because they're lazy. That's why. These are all the different places that they can go to where they will receive free food. There isn't a church in the United States of America that will sit there and watch them be hungry. But I'm going to tell you this, though. There are a lot of churches in the United States of America that will not give them assistance if they are not willing to get off their lazy behinds and actually try to do something for them. Because after a while, they're going to be like, no, it's a sin. You're being lazy. We're going to hand you over to Satan for the destruction of the flesh. That's what we're going to do. It is a sin. You have no business not having gas in your car, Rev. You have absolutely no business whatsoever not having gas in your car, dude. Not when you possess a $240 game. Now, let's flip this. Let's flip the roles here. Do you honestly believe if I had a $240 game that I would be on YouTube asking people for money? Like, do you honestly believe that? Do you honestly believe that if I had anything of value like you guys have, that you guys still have to this day? Like, for example, a lot of you don't know they left a microwave there and they left an air fryer there. I made a YouTube video telling them to come and get it. You could probably get about maybe $30 for the microwave since it's used, maybe $15 to $25 for the air fryer. And you can put gas in this car. It'll fill up his tank in the caddy that he got. I think it's only like $45 to fill up his tank because he got one of them old school cars. Or at least 75% of his tank. I think that's what he told me. I know the Durango, it takes about $60 to $65 to fill up that tank. Maybe a little bit more because of the price increases or whatever. But the point of the matter is you can sell that game. They got a couple of nice phones. They haven't even entertained selling those phones. What's going to end up happening is that they're going to try to sell that stuff when that stuff has been devalued so much and it's been damaged so much, they're not going to be worth anything anymore. They're not going to be worth anything anymore. So, Rev, what are you going to do, man? Are you going to man up? You're going to be a man for once in your life, dude? Stand up to Shanny, sell something, put some gas in that car, and then go, and then don't go leave and don't come back until you got a job? Like, have that mentality? Or are you going to sit in that room and keep making 1,000,000,001 excuses on why you can't do anything? Or Shanny, perhaps you're the stronger vessel and your man is the weaker vessel. And I know you don't like me saying that, Shanny, because you keep talking about how you're the weaker vessel. That's baloney. Not with the way you treat him. Why don't you go out there and provide for your family? Because if both of you don't do it, then you're committing suicide right now. You're going to starve to death. And you can't blame nobody but yourselves. How is it that, Shanny, that you was willing to throw a glass vase at him and do all this stuff to him because he wouldn't accept that job that day? Throw him out the house, throw that expensive leather coat he had at him, throw it downstairs and throw it at him with all the other stuff that you throw at him, breaking all of his games. But you're willing to let that lazy behind guy lay next to you every night and not get up and try to find a job. You want to know why you're in the situation that you're in right now? Because both of you lazy and you don't want to work. That's why you're in the situation that you're in. You're lazy and you don't want to work. If you was working and you wasn't making enough money to make ends meet and you did a fundraiser, I bet you people would donate. You have a lot of people in here donating. if you actually did something for yourself. You'll be surprised. I bet you JD King would donate to you. JD King would donate to you. A lot of people in here that would donate if you were actually working, doing something with yourself, showing that you're serious about taking your life serious. But we all know you're not going to do that. I mean, I understand this is America and there's a sucker born every 2 minutes. I was one of them. You got me pretty good with that one, Shanny. Every time I come over there, Rev, like, I love you, brother. I love you, brother. You helped us so much, brother. I love you. And then when we have this argument and everything and whatnot, you know what Rev does? He gets on here and he thanks Dragnet. And he thanks these atheists on here and these people on the internet for giving him enough money for smokes. But he won't even say thank you to me for all the bags and 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 bags of tobacco that I bought this dude. Dude, I've been helping you since you've been in Boulder. I'm not going to keep talking about you guys like this every day. There's going to come a time when I'm going to stop. But all I got, but this needs to be understood though. You know what I mean? Christians, if you're watching this, if you believe that I'm being unbiblical, I will open myself up for correction. Okay? You can contact me via the email, okay? gtv3@gmail.com, 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 or you can correct me in the comment section. Please use scripture when you do it, as that's the only thing I respect as authority. Okay, so please, and if you're not a Christian and you want to try to correct me for the things that I'm saying, the comment section is there for everybody so that you can try to correct me. No problem whatsoever. But I believe that I'm doing the right thing because these two refuse to put a spoon to their own mouths. Everybody got their breaking point, man. I'll be glad when they reach there so they can realize that I'm trying to help them. I'm not trying to hurt them. And like I said, Rev, I can't be wrong and your uncle can't be wrong, dude. We both can't be wrong. There's something that you're obviously doing, dude, that's turning people off, man. You want people to talk to you like a man, treat you like a man, can help you out like another man. Then you got to start acting like one, dude. Like, honestly, you got to stand up for yourself and tell that woman that you're going to go look for a job. You want respect, dude. You got to go out there. You got to look for a job, dude. You got to go find one. Don't give me this garbage that you can't find one, dude. There are temp agencies. There are people out there that want people to pick up poop in front of their houses. This is going to be leaf season. You know what I mean? You have a lot of leaves you can go out there and you can rake, dude. You got a car, but crying out loud, you can park. Let me tell you how sorry this guy is. Guys, he can take his car, park at the supermarket called Giant or Jerides, and ask people, do they need car service? He'll make $10 to drive the people to the location that they need to go to. He'll be competing with Lyft, and he'll be competing with Uber with Uber. He can do DoorDash. He can do a lot of stuff. But you gotta be willing to get up your butt, do something for yourself, dude. Stop getting on here talking about some foods, looking like an idiot. Stop getting on here saying, can people help me out with medication, because you don't need it. What you need is Jesus. This is something else I've been dying to tell you. Delta 8 is not going to solve your problems. Jesus Christ is. And he encourages you to get off your behind and work. Delta 8 is not your Lord and Savior, and Shanny isn't either. Stop getting on the internet looking stupid, saying that she's the most important thing in your life when you're claiming to be a Christian. If you're a Christian, Jesus Christ is the most important person in your life. Shanny didn't die for your sins. And you mark my words, Rev. You heard it from here and you heard it from other people. As soon as somebody comes to her with some money, she's going to dump you, dude. And Shanny, don't get it twisted. One day you're going to say the wrong thing to Rev, and he's going to leave you. I know a lot more Shanny than you do, Shanny, actually, on this particular topic. A lot more. That's why you seemed so surprised when you heard about the Indian girl at the store. I ain't tell you about the convenient mart. I ain't tell you about the girl at Jarides. I ain't tell you about the girl at Giants. I ain't tell you the girl at CVS. I ain't tell you about the girl at Dollar General. There's a lot of stuff you don't know, Shanny. And he can say I'm lying all he wants. I can make a YouTube video and prove it. I walk right in them stores and start pointing to people. Her, next door, her, next door, her. I wouldn't say big lots, but no, you wasn't flirting with her. But when we did go into Dollar General, not Dollar General, sorry, Family Dollar, he flirted with the girl there a couple of times. And no, Shanny, I'm not trying to break you up. I'm just giving you the reality that this dude can leave you if he wants. Now, I don't know how long that relationship will last, because once they get close enough to smell him, he's going to lose favor with them really fast. Unless they are into Delta 8 like he is or whatever. But Shanny, I keep telling you, if you want to do with some money, just go to the hood. Just walk around in the hood. You won't be single long. Go to the hood. You might be a booty call for some people. Now, let me stop. Oh, God. And that's true, too. That's what you would be. You would be a booty call before they throw you out, because they're not going to listen to that manipulative baloney. With all of the struggles the Black community goes through, they don't want to hear that sob story. Please. Nobody's going to want to hear that garbage. That happens every day in the hood, woman. You just don't know. Every day that happens in the hood. You ain't saying nothing. Except we don't call them CPS. We call them DIFAS, the Division of Youth and Family Services. That happens all the time. Every 5 minutes, somebody's losing their kids in the hood. You know what I mean? Like, if you start going there saying I had money and I lost it, please. That's every household in Jersey City in the hood. That happens all the time. That's why I said you'll probably end up being a booty call, because they're gonna get tired of hearing it. Your story will not. It's only unique in the suburbs. It's not unique in the hood. I'm telling you that straight up. If you don't believe me, go talk to the guys in the hood, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But if they found out how lazy you were, I promise you this: he'll have you as a girlfriend, but then he'll have 5 other ones beside you. Because ain't no man respecting no woman that's laying around all day and not doing nothing but playing video games. And that's kind of unique, though, because Shanny's the first woman. Let me make sure I think about this. Yeah, I think she's the first woman I've ever met that all she wants to do is play video games all day and watch TV. Like, I've seen unemployed women on welfare and on Social Security, but they do a lot more than that. Like, they'll go to the store, they'll run errands, they'll do things. All she does is play video games and watch TV all day long. And I've never seen Shanny might be the first and only woman I've ever seen this way. I have to really think about this. Now, guys, I see this a lot with guys. They get some dumb girl that's willing to take care of them. And they'll just sit around all day. But they'll still go to the store and pretend like they're doing something. They're pretending doing chores or whatever, just so they can keep receiving money or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's rare to see that with women. I don't know. Think about that. It's rare. It's really rare. And Shanny, again, before you say I gave you a death sentence, let's try to remember all of the different times you also was calling me outside of my name while you was living in that house, mind you. This is how dumb I was. While you was living inside of the house, you were calling me all of these names. You were saying all this stuff to me. You know what I mean? And I didn't throw you out. I looked the other way. I figured you were just being emotional. And I looked stupid saying that. No, you got this mentality that you believe that you can say whatever you want whenever you want. See, Shanny, welcome to the world of needing people. When you need people, you don't have the right to just speak your mind the way you do. And if you don't believe me, wait until you get temporary rent assistance and you get Section 8. you're going to find out you can't do a lot of things. You're going to find that out real fast, that there are rules that you have to abide by. That when inspection comes, a house has to be a certain way or you will not get it. Now, they can't come there and have the house smell like cat pee. Can't go in there smelling like fungus, foot, and all the other stuff and whatnot. You got to keep that place clean or they will not give you that money that you need at the end of the month. You're going to find that out real fast. A lot of stuff that I know you don't know nothing about that you're going to learn real fast. And when your boss tells you to do something, guess what? You're going to have to do it. No one's going to care about ultra mind control. No one's going to care about UFOs, whether or not the earth is flat or not. No one's going to care about whether or not you're an angel, with legions of angels. What they're going to care about is you stocking those shelves. They're not going to care about YouTube. They're going to care about you stocking those shelves. That's what. Why I'm laughing? Because I'm trying to picture. I can actually see her doing this, arguing with them about mind control instead of actually doing the job that's in front of her. I can actually see her doing that. That's the funny thing about it. With some people, I can't see it, but I can see that with her. I can see Rev talking about, so we're going to get you Apple stock. I'm going to get you Apple stock while he's working for UPS. Working 4 hours a day, stocking boxes. Oh my God. Like, these two need to come down to reality. Like, really. They really do. So, and by the way, Shanny, I think you owe this community an apology. You ain't dead yet. You ain't gonna die of no blood clot because you ain't got no blood clot. You ain't going through the things that you say you're going through. What you suffer from, honey, is an acute case of laziness. Okay? And what you need is a tiger chasing you or a lion getting ready to eat you so you can get out that lazy bed of yours and start running. That's what you need. That's what you need. So, oh God, I can hear it working at Walgreens. You know what I'm going to do with my first? You know what you want to do? We need to talk about Apple stock. And then he'll burp. Rev, you know full well what I'm talking about, dude. That would be so funny. That'd be so funny. Every time I talked about this guy, talked to him about getting a job like at a warehouse or like a factory or whatever, he bring up the Apple stock and all that stuff and whatnot. That used to be funny. I miss those conversations. Those were funny. You had me rolling with that one. Absolutely rolling. But anyway, guys, that's what I'm angry about. I'm angry about the fact that there's all of these programs out there that they're not taking advantage of, and they're trying to con people into trying to get people to feel sorry for them to give them stuff, and they're not even willing to pick up a toothbrush and brush their teeth and do something with themselves. You know what I mean? So I'll take questions in the live chat very briefly. Did you see the body cam showing and raping? She started going off about MK Ultra. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. In the arrest video, she was like talking about MK Ultra because she was being arrested for being a little bit too kinky with Rev. And then she brought up the MK mind control. That was hilarious. Let me see something here. Read mine. Heather has boils under her fuba. Who's Heather? All right, let me see. Let me see. So anyway, guys, the reason why I'm laughing is because, like I said, if you ever had a conversation with Rev about work, I'm telling you, these are the things he would say in the middle of like picking up boxes. You know what I mean? So he will say that. He'll have you dying. Can you bring cat food if we send it to you? Of course I can. What do you mean, can I bring cat food? You mean give them cat food for the cats? Yeah, I can do that. I can go to where they're at and give them cat food. I don't know if they'll be happy to see me. Ain't nothing they can do. because Rev's a wimp and Shanny's not going to get up and do anything. So let me see. Also, Beckel was right. Keep listening to him sewing and reaping. Yeah, I mean, I feel guilty today, and like I said, they almost got a nice little donation from me today, but Beckel and me talked, and I got talked out of that one real fast. So get a PO box. Yeah, you're right about that. I should do that. Yep. As long as the cats have food. Pretty soon they're gonna have to give up those cats because those cats ain't gonna have nothing to eat. Right now, I bet you they got something to eat because they got the EBT card. So if they got the EBT card, they're probably eating chicken and giving some of the cats some of their chicken. Nope, don't send nothing there. I'll get a PO box. What a lot of you don't know was after I rented the place out or sold it, I was going to go get them a camper. I told them that they would never have to worry about a roof over their head and they could focus on working. But I'm not doing none of that stuff, man. They really need to focus on getting off their feet and actually doing something for themselves. Drader says, "What's funny about this? G-Man isn't much better than them." If you say so, Drader. If you say so. Yep, they can buy tuna. They can buy tuna with the EBT card. Absolutely. Yep. G-Man works. That automatically puts him above them. Okay, let's see something here. Okay, so I did that twice. Todd Malacote says having a camper is far from free. Well, I mean, they got to put gas in it. But if they had a camper, at least they could park it somewhere and live in it. Good luck with where that's going to happen, though. Tuna is not good for cats. That's interesting. Sabella says there are a ton of programs they could apply for, but most of them require them to start work training programs. Rev can go to a pre-apprentice school for free and get a scholarship and go back to school. There's a lot of stuff that he can do. And they'll actually pay him a stipend for going to some of these. He can go to AmeriCorps. He can go to various different programs. As a matter of fact, it would be funny watching them walk into because I don't know if they got an urban league in Scranton, but they got an urban league in Jersey City, New Jersey, and they help people in his position. They can probably help them find somewhere to go immediately if they went there. If they went to the Hudson County Urban League. You know what I mean? The only problem is that place is for people who live in the hood. They show up there. That would be funny. I would pay to be a fly on the wall for that one. That would be funny. Of course, I repented. Repented means that you don't. Let me put this out here so everybody can see this here. Why have you been enabling their behavior? Have you repented? Of course, I have. I'm not giving them no more money. I'm done with those two as far as that goes. Jason could take you, G-Man, honestly. No, he can't. Rev can barely pick up a broom. You just don't know. I'm a lot stronger than Rev. Me and him had an arm wrestling contest, and it wasn't even competitive. Let me see something here. Yes, they lack motivation to try. Absolutely. Yep. They sure do. And the only way they're going to get motivated is by putting them in a position where they got to do it. My ex-husband works under the table to avoid paying child support for 3 children. How do you justify yourself, G-Man? I don't really know what you're talking about, to be perfectly honest. I'm dead serious. I honestly don't know what you're talking about. Okay, let's see something here. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Again, Rev, I could call my friend back up about giving you work, but I already seen what you did 2 times, and he don't trust me when it comes to you. You really messed up with him on that day when you were supposed to rake those leaves, and you chose not to do that. You know what I mean? And then you got a problem getting up early in the morning. You know what I mean? So stop sinning, guys. Repent. I'm referring to Shanny for Christ and Revelation News. Stop sinning. You guys need to Stop being lazy, stop being slothful, and start being fervent and start working. Stop making excuses and trust on the Lord Jesus Christ and stop trusting on G-Man. All right. I am limited. I am a human being and I am poor. Okay. And you know what? I'm proud of it because I know how to be poor and I know how to survive. You know what I mean? I ain't just become poor like you guys did. I have been poor my whole life and loving it. So anyway, guys, let's look at that outro and I'll see you guys in the next video.